An old tradition as well, we like to give the people on the bridges a little wave. These are the Golden Jubilee footbridges we pass beneath here. And they say if you receive a wave back from these bridges, from anyone, it will bring you and your family on board the boat 10 years of good luck. And if you find they don't wave back to you, that means one thing, so that means they're from London. They never win. On the right hand side of us, we have the building called Royal Festival Hall, built as a post-war morale booster. And throughout the years, many famous people, many greats have performed inside. Just to name you a few you may have heard of: Amy Winehouse, Elton John, Frank Sinatra. They have all performed inside the festival hall. If you have your cameras on you, so on the left here will be the oldest thing of interest. I'll be pointing.
Fish for me.
I'll be pointing out to you today. Sorry, the captain was using his radio and that cuts out the microphones. This is called Cleopatra's Needle, 3,500 years old.
YouTube channel, please.
So older than the city of London itself. Given as a gift from a thankful Egyptian government for Lord Nelson's victory against Napoleon, the French, at the Battle of the Nile. And they made the needles in pairs, so the twin to Cleopatra's Needle is in Central Park, New York. The bridge in front of us here, called Waterloo Bridge, constructed using a very expensive, self-cleansing Portland stone. So every time it rains, the outsides of the bridge get a clean. As we pass beneath, the rainwater cannot penetrate, so compare underneath to the outsides of the bridge.
Are you okay?
Constructed as well, the bridge during the Second World War was when the bridge was built. All the men were away fighting the war, so built by the ladies, a female workforce. And you'll be pleased to know, ladies, this is the only bridge in London to be built on time and, of course, under budget as well. So well done to the ladies during hard times as well. So if you look behind you, you can actually see bullet holes on the bridge, on the German airstrikes. On the right-hand side here, we've got the concrete building with the electronic signboard at the top. So this is London's National Theatre. But you wouldn't think so to look at it. So it looks a bit like a car park. And year upon year, that building gets voted as the most ugliest building along the banks of the river. But an old saying I like to say for this building is to never judge a book by its cover. Because inside the building itself, we have 3 of the best theatres in the country. And you may have noticed the area on the right is a lot more busy than the left. So the area on the right is the South Bank, an area for tourists. There's a pathway along the South Bank, starting at the London Eye behind us, going all the way to Tower Bridge. About 2 miles, this is where we have all the outdoor markets are open. We have street performers performing here, the bars and restaurants, a lovely walk, a nice day for it today. On the left-hand side of us, we've got the large white ship with a yellow funnel in the centre called the Wellington. Now the Wellington saw action for the Navy, for New Zealand in World War II. She is moored here today permanently as a floating livery hall. All that means is a drinking club for sea captains, so retired sea captains. On the left here, we've got silver dragons on the roadway with red wings on the side. And these are boundary markers between the city of Westminster and the City of London. So we have just entered now the City of London. We've left the politics, entered the banks. On the left here, we've got green lions' heads along the wall. These lions, they weren't put here for mooring boats, so they were put here during the Victorian days as flood warning indicators. They made up an old rhyme to remember how to keep watch on the lions' heads. So the old rhyme, it goes something like this: when the lions are drinking, London is sinking. When the water is up to the lions' manes, London is going down the drains. And when the lions' heads are well and truly dust, London is well and truly flooded. On the right hand side of us, we've got the red brick building here. If you look right to the top of the building where the glass canopy is, we have the Harvey Nichols Oxo Tower restaurant at the top. That restaurant is said to be in the top 10 here in London. On the left hand side of us, we've got the building with the green sloping roof. This is the old City of London School for Boys. Many former prime ministers of this country that were educated inside that school. And the building today belongs to a bank called JP Morgan, an American bank today. On the right hand side of us, we've got the skyscraper with the curve in the centre. Looks a bit like a boomerang called One Black Rise. Inside we have apartments, so the building is residential. There's 100 apartments inside, up for sale. The higher up we go, the more expensive the apartments get. And the reason is you pay for the view. The penthouse on the top floor sold for £27 million. These are the Blackfriars bridges we pass beneath here. The first one, a road bridge. The second one will be a station. In the centre of the bridges here, we have the remains of the old railway bridge, where the very first railway line stood on the Thames and carried steam trains all the way from Chatham and Dover, which is in Kent. The bridge became unsafe for the modern trains, so what they done, they carefully removed the top of the bridge and they left the red pillars either side of us, as removing the pillars would disturb the foundations of the bridges. On the right hand side of us, we have the building with the tall chimney in the centre, the old Bankside power station, refurbished into a modern arts museum. And the museum, it's free to enter, so you don't need to pay to go inside. They say when you go inside, walk around for 5 minutes, you will soon realise why it's free to enter. On the left here, we have the dome and the golden cross at the top. This is called St. Paul's Cathedral, and this is the masterpiece of Sir Christopher Wren. St. Paul's taking 35 years to build, and it stands 365 feet tall. That's a very easy number to remember, so simply 1 foot for every day of the year. And if you look closely where the railings are, you can see a few people at the top. You can go up there and look over London, amazing views, but you need to walk 500 steps to the top. On the right hand side here, we have a white building and a red door. Sir Christopher Wren, the architect of St. Paul's, lived inside that house, overlooking his masterpiece being built throughout the 35 years. We have a replica as well of William Shakespeare's theatre, so the white building with a thatched roof. The only building you will see with a thatched roof, as they were all made banned ever since the Great Fire of London took place, due to the flammable material that started the Great Fire. They perform plays inside, so that building, it's open to the public. And for the standing area, the cheapest tickets they sell costing £5. That is great value for live entertainment here in central London. And the actors perform the plays just like Shakespeare would have performed them over 400 years ago. So they use no microphone, it's done in the traditional way. Now I hope you're all enjoying the commentary so far. I hope you can hear and understand me okay. I'm trying my best to speak as slowly as possible, so hopefully I'm a bit easier to understand. So I don't normally speak like this. Nothing wrong with me. At the bridge here, we have chains hanging underneath the bridge. You may have noticed chains hanging underneath all the bridges on the Thames. So these chains, they give you something to grab onto if you happen to fall in the River Thames. Very busy on the right here, crowded with people. We have Borough Market here in Southwark, so behind the buildings here you'll find Borough Market. And we have a nice pub called the Anchor with the red window frames, a tourist attraction today, so built in 1615. Throughout the years, the likes of William Shakespeare, Samuel Pepys, and Charles Dickens have all visited and had a drink inside. It's said the attic of the pub was once used by William Shakespeare and his actors as changing rooms. An old tradition as well, this is where my friend, the captain, driving the boat, takes me after work to research the commentaries inside. On the right hand side of us, we've got Pickford's Wharf. The word wharf stands for warehouse at riverfront. And one for the children on board. We've got a wooden pirate ship on the right, in between the buildings. This is for anyone that has seen the film Pirates of the Caribbean. That pirate ship has nothing whatsoever to do with the film. That's a working replica of Sir Francis Drake's Golden Hind. And he was the first Englishman to circumnavigate the globe. And in fully working order is the replica of Drake's Golden